This video is titled, Men Are Dogs and Women Are Cats, but I want to be very clear about what I mean because I'm not calling anyone an animal. I'm talking about energy, specifically the characteristics that masculine and feminine energy often express when they are healthy. Also, I'm talking about dominant energy because we all shift. Right now, I feel more in my feminine, but at work, I can slide right into my masculine. So this is not about what gender you are. It's about which energy is leading in the moment. When I look back over my life, I notice masculine energy has a lot of the same baseline traits dogs tend to have. Dogs are loyal, dependable, playful, happy to see you, and generally easygoing. And they are just excited to be alive. Dogs also have a couple drawbacks because they can be messy and they can be too playful, meaning they play even when it is not the moment for play. When I relate that back to healthy masculine energy, that is exactly what I notice. Healthy masculine energy often has this hyperdrive quality, like a constant charge of motion, curiosity, and action, and it is usually steady and loyal at its core. I'm not talking about toxic masculinity because that is a completely different conversation. And that is more like an abused dog that never learned how to love, and I'm not even taking us there today. I'm talking about healthy masculine energy. Healthy masculine energy tends to be simple in the best way because it wants to move, build, do, protect, fix, and play. But it can also be messy and it can sometimes want to play too much. That is why I say if you have a hard time with masculine energy or you have wounds around men, get a dog if you can. A dog can teach you what healthy mess looks like. And it can teach you how to tolerate a loving energy that is constantly on 10 when you are trying to be calm and quiet. If you have ever been around little boys, you know what I mean. Because it is like that testosterone comes in early and they are climbing, jumping, running, and always into something. Dogs are similar because they are energetic, they need movement, and they need consistency. So if masculine energy has felt unsafe or confusing for you, a dog can help you experience it in a healthier form where the loyalty is clear and the intent is not complicated. Now, when it comes to feminine energy, I notice it has many of the same traits cats tend to have. Cats can be soft and cuddly, but they are also mystical in the way they move through life because they observe, they read the room, and they do not rush into anything. They can be playful, but they are usually to themselves and they decide when they want to engage. Cats do not always jump into your space immediately because they usually have to get used to you first. And that is a big part of feminine energy because feminine energy is receptive and intuitive, and it wants to feel safe before it opens fully. Now, the cons of cats are that they are not always easy, and they can be sneaky and cunning. People say if a woman does something, you might never find out, and honestly, there is some truth to that. Because feminine energy can be extremely strategic, especially when it feels like it has to protect itself. I love cats, but I also know a lot of people do not like cats. And I think that is sometimes because they have issues with feminine energy. If someone expects feminine energy to be simple, loud, and direct the way masculine energy often is, they will misread femininity as cold, confusing, or difficult when it is really just selective and discerning. That is why I say, if you are a tough masculine guy who claims he cannot understand women or feminine energy, get a cat. A dog will feel familiar to you because it is similar energy, but a cat will teach you patience, nuance, and respect for boundaries. Because cats do not perform affection on demand, but they can be deeply loving once trust is built. Both cats and dogs have pros and cons, and both energies have light and shadow. There are vicious dogs and there are sinister cats. But again, I am talking about healthy expressions of both energies, not the extremes. This is how I came to this little life lesson. I had a cat that was male, but the energy he expressed was still very cat energy. And it made me think about how these animals carry consistent traits regardless of gender, which is why I do not make this analogy about male and female bodies, but about energy. I personally do not believe we evolved from apes, and that is just my truth. I believe we were created, and I truly feel cats and dogs were given to us as a gift because they help us understand love, boundaries, loyalty, play, and trust, and they help us understand each other. That is my take. Let me know what you think because I know it sounds a little weird, but I have learned a lot of weird little truths just from living. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insights like this. Until then, travel well.